My name is Edward, and this is my story. It was a winter night. The magic of Christmas was in the air, and the dimmed lights of the reception hall gave the atmosphere a special charm. I was 70 years old that night, invited to a private concert in a splendid estate nearby. This kind of event was not unfamiliar to me, but that night, something was different. Or rather, someone. Among the musicians, a young woman captivated my attention. She had that sparkling gaze, that natural grace that left no one indifferent. Elizabeth, 24 years old, exuded a presence that transcended her age. Intrigued, I approached her during the cocktail following the performance. To my great surprise, the conversation flowed with disconcerting ease. Her father was a renowned musician, and against all odds, she knew his writings. An instant connection was formed. Our shared passions unfolded over the conversation: music, literature, and also horse riding. When I invited her for a ride in the countryside the next day, she eagerly accepted. I knew I enjoyed her company, but never would I have considered anything beyond a simple friendship. At almost 70 years old, how could I have imagined that a young woman of 24 could feel anything other than filial admiration toward me? Months passed. From discussions to messages, our bond grew stronger. We saw each other again a few days before the lockdown was announced. Elizabeth was supposed to return to London the next day, but the health crisis disrupted her plans. She remained confined with me in my home, far from the world's turmoil, in a timeless cocoon. Evenings passed, punctuated by deep conversations, readings aloud, and dinners by the fireplace. One evening, as the snow gently fell outside the bay window, I asked her the question that burned on my lips. "What do you want from me, Elizabeth?" She blushed, lowered her eyes, and whispered in a breath, "A big hug." That innocent and sincere response overwhelmed me. 2 generations separated us, and yet this bond we had woven seemed to defy time and reason. I offered her that awkward embrace, a mixture of tenderness and restraint. It was the beginning of a singular story, defying norms and prejudices. What do you think of this unusual relationship? Can love truly transcend age and social conventions? Share your opinion in the comments. Months went by. Our love grew, despite the gaze of others. During a lunch at a restaurant with Elizabeth's mother, a stranger asked an innocent question. "Is she your daughter?" Without hesitation, her mother replied with a smile, "No, he is my son-in-law." I was stunned. I had never questioned what Elizabeth's parents thought of our relationship. But that day, I understood that they were not fooled, and that they trusted us. Their acceptance gave me a lesson in tolerance that I would never have imagined applying if the situation had been reversed with my own daughter. But all beautiful stories have their season. Over time, I felt growing discomfort. If our love was real, deep, and sincere, it was also confronted with an inescapable reality: the age gap. My doubts and reservations about intimacy created growing frustration in Elizabeth. One day, she left. She sought elsewhere what I could not fully offer her. I knew it. I had prepared myself for it. And yet, when that day came, I felt a deep sorrow. 4 years later, our love remains intact, but different. Stripped of its carnal aspect, it has transformed into a deep, timeless connection. Elizabeth sometimes confides in me with a hint of regret. I would have loved to marry you. Love takes many forms, and what we experienced is a touching proof of that. Can one love without possessing? Can a love freed from physical passion endure and nourish the soul? Share your thoughts in the comments. This story reminds us of a universal truth. Love does not follow the rules imposed by society. It is lived, felt, and written according to the hearts that carry it.